Well, hello and welcome back to Queerful Consideration. I'm your host JT, and we are in another 8.4 release queue for Magic Origins. I believe this is going to be the third draft. We did manage to win our last 8.4, which is great, and are going on to see what we can do here. So many great archetypes. I would love to draft a mono black deck. I'm not sure you can force mono black, but I don't think it's wildly popular. I think green white and green red Stompy are great. Green blue Tempo is pretty darn good, and frankly green anything is not bad. Green black Grindy seems to be the weakest of those, but green is so deep that you can basically force it. Also love me a red-blue Tempo, red-blue aggro, or red-blue Thopter strategy. The Thopters and artifacts is a cool thing, but doesn't necessarily always come together. Let's see what we got here. So right off the bat, we've got our choice. We can either go Chandra's Fury, Dragon Fodder, to just jump straight into red. We can go Leaf Gilder to jump straight into green. This thing's fine, but not such a great payoff for being two colors. This thing, no. Just no. Sigiled Starfish is pretty sweet. Untapping with this thing feels great. It's a fine body as a blocker. It's a really cool ability, and it gets you out of a lot of troubles. I'm not sure if the format's too fast for it. It definitely commits you to a more control-y as opposed to aggro build, and I really feel like aggro is kind of the name of the game in this format, but let's see what we can do with some kind of a dirtily control-y build. Now, just to check, I'm going to make sure that the responder isn't worth anything, and it is not, because as always, we're looking to make some money here. Alright. Here we go. Oh, this ridiculous nonsense. If I had taken the Gilder in the first one, I'd probably go ahead and follow up with another one here and count on getting good green beef later. Chief the Foundry is definitely something that we could go into. I think there's enough good artifact stuff in this set that picking a Chief early and building around it is good, but man, this thing is a 5-ticket mythic, and somebody just passed me the money. I'm gonna play it. They took an uncommon over it. I'm gonna play it. Alright, blue-black Dirtle Control. Alright, Clash of Wills is a real card. Gnarl Root Trapper is a real card. You know, I could also just end up going like black-white enchantment, and this is really one of the payoffs for going there. I think it's enough of a payoff that I want to get there. You know, Gnarlroot Trapper I don't think is enough payoff, and it's tough to make it worthwhile. Clash of Wills is very good, and if I wanted to stay blue and use that, that would be the place to go, but I think there's enough payoff in potentially ending up in black-white that I want to take this guy and see where it goes. Zindakar's Royal, hell of an enchantment. Rock's Mauler's quite good. Reeve's Soul, though, is just a quality removal spell, and I'm going to take it. There's enough stuff that causes trouble, like that Prickle Boar up there, that Reeve's Soul is exactly what I want to be doing. So here I can look at this pack and see that there's basically nothing here except a Suppression Bonds and an Undead Servant. Suppression Bonds is sufficiently better than everything else in the pack that I think I'm going to take it. I'm not committed to that Sigiled Starfish first pick. Here I've got an interesting choice between a Totem Guide Heartbeast and a Knight of the Pilgrim. Knight of the Pilgrimage is just a fine creature. This thing definitely gets value by fetching out a Suppression Bonds. And makes all my later Suppression Bonds better too. It's also just a 2/5, which is totally playable. Man, Night of the Pilgrimage though. You do want early stuff to do in this game, in this format. It's just value. That thing is value. Alright, so here, Zendikar Incarnate. Holy crap, green is open. Or green is just always really playable. So Amber Tactician is definitely on the aggressive side of things. The Guardians is a fine control-y kind of card. And maybe... You know, I think I can pick up one of those when I need it. The Amber Tactician actually does really good things. Cleric is exactly what I want. It's a 2-drop. Grasp with a Hieromancer is not great. However, it is an aura. And it does get some things through. Mighty Leap, Thornbow Archer. Thornbow Archer. Yeah, Thornbow Archer with a Grasp with a Hieromancer on it is totally viable. Healing Hands, Fairy Miscreant, Binding Construct, it blocks. It gets me out of a hole where, like, say somebody's got the 2-mana 2/2 white guy. You know, I don't want to get hit with that and all of a sudden it's renowned and I'm just boned. Let's go ahead and put that in the sideboard. Tactics for the sideboard. Yoked Ox for the sideboard. It's a potential. This thing for the sideboard is potential. And a land for the sideboard. So, I don't think Sigiled Starfish is the thing. And it looks like I'm mostly white here, splashing black. First is, wow, Scab Clan Berserker. Oh, man. She is just brutal. So, Cruel Revival is a removal spell that brings back a zombie, and that's fine. Timberpack Wolf, fine. Light Ascetic is not a first pick. I guess I'll go ahead and take the 5-drop removal. Removal is still important to have occasionally. I don't exactly have zombies that I'm fetching back right now. The War Oracle is just ridiculous. It's a 4-mana 4/4 lifelinker. Look, I would love to pick up a Suppression Bonds, but man, that creature's just a beating. Infinite Obliteration doesn't do anything in limited. So the question is, do I want a Celestial Flare or a Knight of the Pilgrimage? Well, it's a good question. I do want that Knight of the Pilgrimage, but I think Celestial Flare is actually going to be more useful. Wow. Wow. Just, wow. Taking it. Removal. I am enchantment control .deck. Reclusive Artificer is very good. Yeah, 2/3 haster that blasts. Disperse is excellent. Weight of the Underworld is another 4-mana removal-ish spell. The question is, do I want to have an Enshrouding Mist? It's a good combat trick. It's a good combat trick that definitely can protect an important creature for me. So I think the first one is more important than the Weight of the Underworld. Just because Suppression Bonds is pretty much strictly better unless I'm trying to do Auramancer antics here. But I haven't found any Auramancers or Blight Casters, which is making me a little bit worried. That being said, the Grasp of the Hieromancer isn't exactly necessary. I am pretty heavy on the removal here. Wow. So, Revenant isn't worth it. Non-creature spells costing more to cast definitely hurts me here. A flying 2/1 is fine. Why do I have the idea that that thing... it's only 11 cents. Okay, well that's not as valuable as I feared it might be. The Angel's Tomb is solid. It does require that I keep casting creatures, but given that or Way to the Underworld, I think it's what I want. I'm running out of time. It took it for me. I'm glad I had it highlighted, but that pick could very clearly be wrong. Here, none of this is good. The Bounding Krasis is good, but certainly not for our deck. Night Snare is one of those things that could get us out of a pickle, but I'm just going to put it in the sideboard. None of this stuff is takeable for me. Bloodsucker. Ugh. Enlightened Ascetic. Definitely add to my picks. That's a way that I can use to get rid of my Demonic Pact, which is pretty sweet. It's a disenchant effect that can allow me to get full value out of this thing and then get rid of it. Charging Griffin is excellent. I did want another creature. A little bit worried about that Chandra's Fury. Obliteration, negate. Negate could be a problem. I'm gonna put this guy in my sideboard. Psychic Rebuttal. Yeesh. None of my stuff targets him. I'm gonna sideboard this Send to Sleep. Not that any of this stuff's getting taken and used. The Infection Bloodlust. There is actually an Infectious Bloodlust deck, so... yeah. Oh, wow. Maybe we're the Infectious Bloodlust deck. I mean, we are enchantments. That's a joke. We're not going to splash red for that. So, I'd love to find some balmy creatures. Relic Seeker. Relic Seeker is just a straight 2-mana 2/2. Shadows of the Past is interesting. Eyeblight Assassin is a 3-mana 2/2 that pings something. I don't have any equipment yet. The Throwing Knife is a good card. Shadows of the Past is actually a very good card, but I just don't have enough creatures, and I like an early drop. Yeah. Smith. What is that guy called? Relic Seeker, that's what it is. Relic Seeker's not worth anything, but it's a 2-mana 2/2. It's a bear if I don't have anything else in my deck, and I have chances to pick up other stuff. I think the Shadows will actually come around, and I wouldn't mind picking up Shadows of the Past if I can. Here, a Throwing Knife is very good. Read the Bones is excellent. But I think an Enlightened Ascetic... wow, do I get the Throwing Knife just because... yeah, the Ascetic will come back around. The Throwing Knife is an equipment that I can search out and wow. There we go. That's exactly the kind of thing I want. Now, Battlefield Forge is worth some money. Let's find out how much. 2/3 of a ticket. And I don't really care about splashing it. The Knightly Valor is solid. And I'm going to go ahead and take it. Here, Jeshian Thief, the Separatist Void Mage, the Whirler Rogue. You've got to be kidding me. Good Lord. Blue is just crushing it. I think I have to take the Jailer here, although I can see myself getting run over by either one of these cards. Blue-green's got a heck of a deck out there. Alright, so Dark Petition is interesting in that it lets me search for anything. The Cull Blade is solid, except that I don't have a whole lot that just straight up kills. However, it is a 2-drop. In terms of 2-drops, the Shambling Ghoul is just quite good. The question is, do I want the Dark Petition instead? Do I want a Ghoul or a Hellblade? Because I think the Petition will come around. I haven't seen anybody really use the Hellblade yet. And for the most part, my stuff is not destroying things, but that could change. Sky Snare Spider, good God. 6 mana, 6/6 Vigilance, Reach. It's just getting silly in this joint. Rocks, Maulers, Timberpack Wolf. I don't want any of the stuff that's here. I'm just going to take these Maulers out. Auramancer or Knight of the Pilgrimage. Auramancer's pretty slow. And at this point, it's just getting back my high-end stuff. Knight of the Pilgrimage is definitely more aggressive, but I'll take it. It's grindy. It's grindy. Thornbow Archer, Akron Jailer, Return Centaur. Hell, even the Automaton's not terrible, but I'm packed up on the 4-drops right now. I think I'll take another Jailer. Yeah, there's that Shadows of the Past. I'll take it. There's the Ascetic. It came back around. That's great. There's another Night Snare. I'll put it in the sideboard. Another Construct. I like the early drops. Yeah, now we've got some choices to make in this deck. Choices to make. I don't think the Imprint Tactician actually pays off here, even though I do have a lot of early game. But that being said, I only want to have about 15, maybe 14 creatures in the deck. I don't think the Angel's Tomb is going to make the cut here. The Totem Guide Heart Beast. Well, apparently I'm restarting Magic Online. I'm going to pause it. Alright, we're back and we have to do the whole building process, so let's just go ahead and dump all of our white and black cards in here. And our big payoff guy, as well as our throwing star and our construct, throwing knife, throwing star. What am I? 8 years old. Alright. Sort by converted mana cost. Group creatures separately. Alright, 18 creatures. I don't think the Ox is necessary, although it might be strictly better than the Jailer. Kithians is an interesting one. Healing Hands is out. I need to cut about 4 of these. I think Night Snares can both go. These are all bomb level. Destroy target non-zombie creature. Return target zombie. Okay, this guy can go. This guy can go. Puts me down to 15 creatures. I don't have any zombies that Cruel Revival is getting back, but it is just instant speed removal. Instant speed hard removal, which is quality. Shadows is solid. And it's a late game win condition. This thing destroys people. This thing destroys people. This thing destroys. I think that's enough for the vampire. I'm gonna put both Enlightened Ascetics in here, and what do I have to put on them? Well, I've got the Grasp of the Hieromancer and the Knightly Valor. Yeah, I just don't have enough. Don't have enough stuff here. But the Enlightened Ascetics destroys only target enchantment. I think there's enough enchantments in this set. I definitely want all this early stuff. I am just the army of 1/1, so actually the Tactician does some work. I don't want to get rid of... I think I can get rid of the Enshrouding Mist. All the rest of this stuff actually makes my little critters work. Totem Guide Heartbeast actually fetches up Suppression Bonds and Grasp of the Hieromancer, and that's it. Relic Seeker fetches up the Throwing Knife, which is fine. It's also just a bear, which is fine. Shadows is going to be good. I need my removal. I don't think I want to get rid of any of these spells, which means I get rid of a few creatures here. I'm going to get rid of one Enlightened Ascetic, one Thornbow Archer, maybe a Jailer. Nah, definitely the Archer instead of the Jailer. We are majority white here, and I want to get my stuff out early. That being said, I also do want to be able to cast stuff, so that's nice. Let's see here. Tactician does work. Oracle does work. Aromancer does work. And honestly, my curve is pretty low here. I do want to hit 4, but I don't necessarily need a lot more than that. Not until very late game. And I don't want to take my creature count down much more than this, because in order for my shadows to actually activate, I would have to go through a third of my creatures in the graveyard. So I am tempted to call it here. Definitely come down there, go up here, run it as 10-6 at 41. It's greedy. It's greedy, but there's a lot of value here. A lot of value here. You know what, I can maybe cut one ascetic. If I see a lot of enchantments over on the other side of the table that I really want to nail, I can bring them back in. And now I can add in one more swamp. Make it 10-7. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. This is a weird one. I don't know if it's going to work at all. I'm a sucker for black-white, even though the core set tends to follow the rule that black-white sucks. But that's where we ended up, guys, because I make bad decisions. Also, 5-ticket Mythic Rare, and we opened up... Oh, yeah, we opened up a Sigil Starfish. But we got past a 5-ticket Mythic Rare and this guy, so... Let's see what we can do with it. I will see you in round 1 very soon.